Good morning everyone, welcome back to the channel. Mondeo is back today. It's been a little while since the car was on the channel with the Mini taking over a little bit. I wanted to bring the Mondeo back today for a good reason as well. When I was actually midway through filming the Mini videos, I think it was the day that I went to Euro Car Parts to get the oil and the coolant for the Mini. I went in this car to Euro Car Parts. It was a nice hot day like it is today, and I went to put my window down and the window wouldn't go down. I put my finger on the button and pressed down. I heard an awful cracking plastic sound and then the window just didn't move. You can sort of hear the mechanism in the door moving still, so I think the motor's okay. I think that the window, the actual glass, has come away from the mechanism and so it doesn't work. I'll just show you, I can push the window up and down with my hand. That's kind of how I've been doing it for the past few days. I'll quickly just turn the car on and show you the actual symptom of what's happening. So if I press the down button on my window, actually can't actually hear anything moving now. Before it would move, or you could hear it moving, but the glass itself, there you go, you can sort of see it moving there. So if I put the window right down and press up, the glass does move. So the motor seems to be working, but it is jammed, and also the window is not connected to it because, as you can see, I can sort of just move it up and down freely from it. So that is what we're fixing today. That is today's job. Instead of buying like a whole mechanism to replace it, I've actually bought a repair kit for the mechanism that is already in the door. There's two ways you can do it. You could either buy a whole mechanism which comes with like the runners and everything already put together, but the way I thought I'd do it is one, cheaper, which is always good. This way I figured it takes a little bit more skill and maybe it'll be a bit more interesting to watch because we've got to take some bits apart and replace them and stuff like that. So that's today's task. To do so, I need to get the door card off, quite obviously because that's how you access the mechanism. I don't really know how you take it apart. I haven't done any research before trying this. I figured it can't be too hard. I've done things that are much more complicated than what this is going to be, I'm sure. So I'm going to go grab some tools. We'll start taking this thing apart and hopefully we can get this thing fixed by the end of this video. Right, so I reckon screwdriver, this bit set here should be pretty much all we need to do this job, I think. Right, so I don't know how well you're going to be able to see this because it is quite bright out here, but the door card feels like and looks like it's been taken off before. There's screws around the bottom, or there's supposed to be two screws around the bottom. I don't know if I'll show you. Right here, there should have been a screw, and along here, but there's not one in there. And then the door card itself, there's a screw in there, Torx, and I think there's a couple as well in the handle. And it looks like that's it. I don't know if I got to take this off. If I do, that's just got one screw right here to take out, and that thing will pop off. So if I remove that one and those two, I think that's it. Oh, there's one here as well. And another one this side and here. Why do I feel like I've had this off before? Oh, I've had this off before, haven't I? Because I had the mirror. The mirror didn't work on this side, or it didn't fold in, if you remember, when I first got the car. So I have actually had this off before, so I might have missed those screws in the bottom, putting them back in. That's my fault. I'm going to go ahead and remove all these screws now. Right, I think I've got everything removed now to be able to take this door card off. Alright, only thing holding it on now is the window switch. So I've just got to unplug that. There we go. And that is door card off. Something did fall off, there it is. Alright, so as I said last time when I had this off, someone has been in here before because all this has been ripped. So someone has been playing around with this. And can we see our mechanism? Oh, it's right in there. So we've got to take all this off anyway. I think someone's resealed it back on. You can see all this black sealant. Someone's put this back on. Oh, it's horrible stuff. It's all sticky. Oh man. Right, I'm gonna have to try and remove all this and I'll bring you back. I'm gonna take this little metal bracket off as well. This one right here is gonna come off because that seems to be holding this stuff on as well. It's only a couple of little screws. I might even have to take the speaker off, I'm not sure yet. Yep, speaker's gonna have to come off as well, I think. There's no way that I'm gonna be able to take this all off. I think I need to get to this part anyway. I think there's another runner here. So all this is gonna have to come off. I don't even know what that is, but that's probably gonna have to come off as well. Right, there's that off. So at the minute, this is about all I can see. These are the runners here, these black bits that go down. There's one there and one there. The cable looks rusty and sort of a bit flimsy, but I can't really see much else. There's the motor right there. So I guess it's all going to have to come out this way, which means I need to unbolt the glass from it, I think, which is 2 bolts there. I'll tape the glass up so that it stays up around the window frame, and then I guess it's held in by 1 screw there, 1 screw there, and that looks like about it. Just those 2 bolts that hold it in. No, another one there as well. 1 bolt right there, 1 bolt there, and then 1 up here. Oh, 4 actually, these 4 here. I'll undo them once I've got the glass free. See if we can remove it. I guess it's going to come out of this panel right here, the big hole. I guess I'll have to pull it across and sort of bring it out. So the glass itself is held in by these like clamps right here. These pieces of rubber here just grip onto the glass, and it's just like a metal clamp. You can kind of see it like that, just either side of the glass. And it's just this 10mm bolt here, which will free it up. And the glass should be able to be removed. There's 1 there, and 1 right there. I'm going to go ahead and use this opportunity. This is the first job that this electric ratchet is going to be used on, so I figured I may as well try it out, see how it performs. Nice, worked a treat that. And same again. I don't know if I can reach this one. I might need an extension. There we go, that worked well, that did. I should be able to now pull this glass up, hopefully. Maybe I didn't loosen them enough. Oh, that's gone in the door. I'll have to fish that out. Quick little shout out as well to my dad for the duct tape. He bought me this the other day. I'll just use a bit of this to hold the window up. There you go. Don't need a lot, just 1 piece. Just so it doesn't fall down and like hurt my hands while I'm taking this other thing out. Right, here she is. I think it's safe to say, if you haven't spotted it already, what broke on this thing. If I just show you it like that. Can you see? I'll show you it all. Ta-da! Broken cable. Rust seems to have been what the cause of this one, which is good because I've actually got brand new cables for this, so that is not a problem whatsoever. It's really quite rusty and gummed up in there, you can see. Right, let's get this thing taken apart, get it repaired, and we'll put it back together. Right, so here is a slightly better look at it. There is the broken cable, as you can see, all frayed this end. So this is the repair kit that I got. Again, I picked this up off eBay and it was £6, believe it or not. There's a couple of bits of plastic in there, not entirely sure where they go yet. It's got a new wheel, which I assume probably goes inside this, which means taking the motor apart. And then the most important part in there, as you can see, is the cables. That is obviously what we're replacing today, because we have a snapped one. It's just a case of getting this one apart and figuring out how it all goes and how it goes back together. I'm going to take a couple of pictures on my phone just so I remember. Right, so I figured out where everything goes. These little grey plastic pieces are, can't really see it that way, hang on, let's turn it over. The little runners that go up and down just there. That'll go in something like that in its place. I don't know if I'll replace them, I probably will, but the wheel as well goes inside the motor. I think you have to take all that apart. So we are going to take the motor apart to replace this wheel, and then the cables just go where the old cables go with the springs. Let's go ahead and start taking some things apart. I think I'm going to start with the motor. Alright, coming across a problem already. This screw here, someone looks like they've been in there before. You can see it's all been minced out. It's not even like a Torx anymore. These ones undone fine, these two. But that one is really rounded, so I'm gonna have to try and like hammer in a bigger Torx or something to get that loose. Completely minced in there, can't hammer anything in it. It's really tight in there as well, stupidly tight. Don't know what to do. Looks as though we're gonna have to get the old drill out. I've got a special tool for this actually, not that I bought not long ago. I don't remember what I bought it for, but it's a kit that's got drill bits, and then it's got this like easy out kit, and you drill the hole specific size. So this drill bit is meant for this bit, and you hammer this in, it sort of twists in, and those knurlings on the tool, they dig into the bolt and they should take it out. So we'll give this a go. I don't know what size this is. 6.5 mil. I'll just drill that into the bolt a little bit, and then we'll try the tool and see if that'll get it out. Well, that worked pretty damn well, if I do say so myself. The head of the bolt is on the drill bit. Right, so I've taken all these 3 bolts out here that are on this motor. The one I had to drill out obviously, and then the 2 just here. And if I lift this now off the mechanism, you can actually access inside here from the back, like so. So that yellow disc right there is what we are replacing with wherever it's gone. This one right here. That'll go in there, new cable goes in that, put it back together, and luckily this is the thread from the one that I drilled out. It literally just spins out. It wasn't even in there that tight. So I just need to find a new bolt for that, and we'll be good to put it all back together. I know which way the new cable goes on. I've already figured it out, and I'm also going to replace these plastic bits on here. I'm going to figure out how they come off as well, and I'll replace them. So I've just managed to get the wheel, or the reel, or whatever it is, out of the thing. Look how buggered up it is. That has been broken for a little while, I guess. That wire is all sorts of broken and frayed and buggered in there, so that's out. Luckily the housing's not in bad shape. That should just clean up. Just got a bunch of plastic. I'll add some more grease in there. Put the new one in. I've just got to free the cable up just from this last little bit. I've managed to get that one completely free. I just need to remove it from the rest of the runners, and then we'll stick the new one on. So before I actually started taking this all apart, I did something pretty smart for me, and took a picture on my phone so that I could see how it all goes back together, because there seems to be, when you take this apart, there's actually a lot more bits to it than meets the eye when you actually take it out of the car. As you can see, all laid out on here, I've got all the bits ready to go back together, and I can cross-reference my picture on how these all go. So the rails are now sitting in the right place. I have replaced the little plastic thingamajiggies, so they're there. And now the only thing left to do is just to route the cable. I think I know which way it goes, but it means putting it through this. It's quite complicated. I don't think I'm going to show you it all, but I'll show you it once it's all back together. This was never meant to be like a how-to anyway. I've cleaned out the housing of which it sits. I've cleaned that out. I'm going to chuck some grease in there once I put it all back together, and then I've just got the little bits that hold the window, the little clamps as well to put on. Right, I have managed to get the cable ran. I'm just going to show you, just in case there is anybody that's watching this that's following. It's pretty easy to route once I sort of knew how. The way I found out which way the cable goes round, because you could put it in two ways. I laid both cables next to each other outside. The cable only goes one way, and you can see where all the little bits on the cable line up. So if you're doing this yourself, just make sure that you get it the right way round. And this is how it should look. This is the right way up, like that. This is the left side, this is the right, obviously. This is where that's going to mount to. I haven't actually done that yet, but the cable starts over here and it runs down, goes around this first bottom left thingamajiggy wheel, and then goes up. It then clips into this grey plastic clip, goes up, and then goes around anti-clockwise this one, down, across, and then through that wheel, up, through that plastic clip, and then just comes out through that, and then comes out here, and then ends right there. And then both of these ends obviously are going to be put into this wheel, and that's going to go onto the motor, and that's the last thing to do really. I don't know if I need to like coil it up at all on the wheel. I don't know if it just sits straight on there, if I don't know if I need to like tighten it up or anything like that. Coiling up that wire on that wheel was an absolute pain in the butt. You can see I've stuck a bunch of grease in there as well. I think I've got it assembled. I think this is it. Anything left to do is just to stick the motor back on, 3 bolts, and I think we're ready to put it back in the car. Everything's tight, all the cables are nice and taut, they're all around where they're supposed to be. I think we're looking good. Alright, so here we go. This is what she looks like. You can see that's the picture I took before I took her apart. And that's now what she looks like, pretty much identical without the broken wire. This is all now ready to go back on the car. Right, so that's a good start. I've managed to get the mechanism in, and all the screw holes that hold it to the door all line up. One there, one there, one down there, and that one in there. They all slot into where they're supposed to be, so that must be the right shape, and the cables must be all at the right length. So I'm going to get these all tightened down. I've already plugged in the electrical connector for it as well. So I'm going to tighten these bolts down. I'm going to take the tape off the window, drop it down into its mounts right here, put them back on, and then we'll give it a test and see if the window goes up and down now. Right, all the bolts are done up now. I figured instead of putting the window down right now, I should test it before I put the glass in, just in case something goes wrong. So I just need to hook up the switch to the window switch, which is on the door card, and then we'll try it out and we'll see if it works. Well, that didn't go to plan at all. The last clip you would have seen is I said I was going to test the motor before I put the window back in. I hooked up the door and I thought, oh no, I'll quickly just check it off camera just to make sure it does work before I start filming. And one of the wires sort of pinged out of one of the rollers on the mechanism, and so I went to go put it back together, took the motor off, this bit, and where the wires go onto this wheel thing that I've just replaced, the wires have just completely, or the cables I should say, have completely just like messed themselves up. Can you see that? That's the brand new cable. I put them in absolutely fine, so I don't quite know why that's happened, but look at this one as well. It's sort of gone all curly. I don't know why it's done that. So, as a result of that, I'm not going to be putting this back together right now. I'm going to order myself a whole new mechanism. I'm not going to bother ordering the cables again. That's so much faff taking it all apart. It's the best way to do it, probably. I'm going to order myself a genuine second-hand Ford Mondeo window mechanism, the whole lot all together, and just stick it in. I can't be dealing with all this. This is so much faff. It's really difficult to get the cables all reeled up and get it all tight. I'm just not going to bother. This can go in the bin, and I'm going to order another one. So the window I'm just going to prop up for now, use a piece of wood just to stick it up so it doesn't fall down, and so that no one can get in the car. And then I'll order another mechanism. I'll leave all the door card and stuff off as well, because it'll only take a couple of days to get here, and then I'll just stick that in. So, bit of a fail, I'm going to be honest. That was it was all going so well, and then the cables decided that they didn't want to work, and now they've just frayed themselves, so they're not even any good putting in there now. But there we go, that's what happens sometimes, I suppose. Alright, so temporary solution to keep the window up. I've stuck a piece of wood in there, and it's touching on the window up there, so that's not going to go anywhere. I'm going to put all this stuff that in there, and that's literally how the door will stay now for the next few days while I wait for the new part. I can still open it and stuff, just can't use the window switches, which I don't need, and I don't have a speaker either. I put the door card and everything, all the screws and stuff are in the boot as well. Can we just appreciate for a second on the Mondeo how massive the boot is with the seats down. I did a dump run the other day, so they're still down from that, but there's so much room. I could literally sleep in there. I could lay in there, and I'm 6 foot something. What do you reckon? Shall I gut the whole car and make it a race car? Definitely not. Right, that's gonna do me. I think unfortunately, once again, having to end a video with the car not actually fixed and finished, but that's the way it goes sometimes. Not everything goes to plan all the time. Everything went so well up until the point where I tested it in the door once I'd fixed it in. It's a shame that it didn't just work, but that's just what happens sometimes. I don't know if the cables, I put them in wrong or what happened, but everything seemed okay. It just didn't want to go my way, and that's not a problem. Like I said, I've ordered a whole mechanism, an original Ford one, a second hand, but that doesn't really matter. So I'll get that fitted. I don't know if I'm going to film that. I may do that off camera, I'm not entirely sure yet. If you want me to film it, let me know down in the comments and I will do, and you can actually see the finished product. But if you enjoyed the video nonetheless, make sure you give it a thumbs up. It helps me out a lot. Make sure you subscribe. Future content, 54,000 subscribers now I think it is we've hit, which is incredible. Don't feel like yesterday we hit 50,000, so another 4,000 since then is mental. So thank you all very much for that, I appreciate it. If you want to help support the channel, you can buy stickers, hoodies and t-shirts. Link is always in the description, make sure you check that out. And that's all I've got. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you like to see the Mondeo again on the channel. I've actually got a really awesome thing to fit to this soon. I may end up actually doing that tomorrow. So there may be a video on Monday of fitting something to the outside of the car, which is cosmetic, which should make it look a lot more aggressive and a lot meaner, so look forward to that as well. Also, when I get paid this month, I'm going to do a service on the Mondeo, because I haven't done one since I've owned it, and I've owned it for quite a few months now, probably 6 months, maybe longer, and I've never done a service on it, so I'll do the oil, filter, all that sort of stuff, and give it a bit of love. I also need to do the tensioner pulley, the belt, and the crank pulley, because they're really noisy on this car, so I want to get them swapped out as well. So lots more content to come on the Mondeo, lots of stuff on all my other cars, as you guys know, way too many cars to even think about. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. I will see you all in the next one.